We're not giving it to you at all.
Okay, we're on.
Services or, there's some state department up there that has told their employees that they're not coming back in office
She wanted
until June.
outside. So crazy.
Is that not plugged in?
Yeah.
I'm like, we've already passed
And
you.
she's trying to-
How did they make that kind of?
Take you down, you don't have
Hey,
any
I don't
shoes.
this
know.
needs to be turned. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
Crazy.
I got it.
It was-
Just like.
Treat her like she
No,
grew-
no, no, no.
treat her like she grew up in Pearl.
Their camera, I don't know why it's not
Is it
turned.
turned on? Oh, that's why it's on.
And half.
It's on. It's not turning.
We've been trying to get.
No, no, no,
This
this
is-
is-
I'll get, yeah, you do it.
Yeah, but I can't turn it. Do you see what I mean? It's not like it's woke up.
Visits that we cannot do, and we've been saying, well, you know, we could do them outside. We could do them outside, 6 feet away, and.
Don't turn this way, dude.
Jake, regular meeting, right? Okay. I
Which
gotta
way
mix my
was it?
specials and my regulars here.
You got your packet?
Got it right here.
Okay, I'll borrow that.
I'm ready to go.
You are so good, Keisha.
Did you get it?
Yeah. Yep, which way, I can move it.
You're good, you're good. Yeah, it's
Everybody
fine.
on?
Yep,
Everybody ready?
yep, we're on, we're ready to go.
All right, technology is good. Let's call this meeting of the Marion County Board of Supervisors to order. Roll call, Jake,
Keisha Johnner,
Here,
Mark Ramey,
here.
Steve McCombs,
Here.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve this morning's agenda.
make motion, we approve today's agenda.
Second.
McCombs,
Hi.
Ramey,
Aye.
Johnner.
Aye.
I'm glad you're here. I had to do that all last meeting.
Jake, any communication
Appreciate me,
received by
huh?
your office?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Public comments, this is the portion of our meeting that the public can speak on items not on this morning's agenda. The board cannot act on those items, but they could be topics for future Board of Supervisor meetings. Are there any public comments, items not on the agenda? Going once, going twice. Gone, all right. Would entertain a motion to approve this morning's consent agenda.
Make motion, we approve today's consent agenda.
Second.
Ramey,
Aye.
Johnner,
Aye.
McCombs.
Aye.
Okay, very good, thank you. On to business, we have resolution 2020-53, which is Secondary Road Department FY 21 base wage policy. I don't say wage policy, base wage policy. Tyler?
Yeah, again, this is an annual procedure to update our base wages. It is not representative of what our employees make, as they have received different wages throughout the year. This is for position changes to differentiate the hourly wage difference between certain positions, and if we were to hire new employees into a particular position, that would be their beginning salary, so, or beginning wage. So this year, the wages were changed anywhere from 2.5% to 3%, with the exception of our part-time employees, which remain the same.
Okay, very good, thank you. Steve, Keisha, any discussion?
No, it looks like it's basically going like it always has been.
From a competitiveness standpoint, Tyler, how are we doing?
Yeah, we're right there, slightly above average, which is where we typically are when I look at the salary survey on the County Engineers Association's website. They do their own salary survey because the ISAC does not break it down as far as truck drivers and laborers and motor grader operators and that sort of thing. So I looked at that salary survey. We're slightly above average. Then again, I compare to neighboring counties such as Warren, Mahaska, Jasper, also. And
yeah,
you have to kind of take a holistic view because hourly wages don't tell the whole story.
right.
So I try to do that every year and look at.
So let's follow up on that just a second, Tyler, in terms of salary package, insurance package, vacation. How are we sitting overall?
Probably average. I mean, some counties are still paying 100%
Insurance side?
family health insurance. Right. Yeah. But their hourly wage is lower I would say Jasper and Mahaska wages are up there. I can't remember what Mahaska's paying for percentage of health insurance. It's not 100%,
Yeah.
but it's, I wanna say it's maybe 90 or 95.
It's more than
for
what we
family.
pay.
Yeah. Their premium, and then you got to look at the premium too, what's their total premium to know what dollar value that is.
Right.
That's also shown on the salary survey. I don't ever feel like we're too far out of line, to answer your question, Mark.
Okay.
I don't remember all the numbers offhand,
No,
but,
that's,
I feel like we're right there. Talking with Lisa, I'm interested to see what our wage audit or whatever we're calling it.
Compensation study.
There you go.
yes.
I'm interested to see what that says.
And we are having a follow-up on that. I think Lisa and I are on a call.
We need to decide.
We need to
We need
decide.
to set a date, yep.
I'm
We're
interested in
moving
that because the salary survey is only as good as the information put into the salary survey.
Yep.
Maybe done by office managers, maybe done by county engineers or some other staff at the various counties.
Right.
And I put in actual wages of what our employees make and our base wage. Others might average, so the information's only as good as
No, that's
put in. So-
fair. That's fair. And I, the only reason I bring that up, I think that's a great segue, just a little sidebar to this idea of wages, since we are talking about road department wages. When we do the salary survey, and we will do it, I just want to encourage all department managers to be as frank, as transparent with our consultants as you can. This will be a twofold study. It will not just be salaries, it will also be operations. And the board will commit additional dollars to examine operational effectiveness and efficiency. And this group, I think, has got some great folks that can do that. And once Lisa and I have this call, we'll make a formal presentation to the whole board and we'll vote on whether or not we want to go forward with that. But I think it's going to be a very robust review of compensation, of operational performance, etc. So I'm looking forward to that discussion with the board coming up in probably the next couple of meetings. We'll have that as an agenda item. So
Yeah, so that's all I have as far as the base wage.
I have something I wanted to add.
Yeah.
So Tyler, when we did your performance evaluation, we kind of talked about this a little bit. The phone policy, you're only paying 45.
Yep.
Okay. Was there a time where you were going to revisit that at all and be like countywide being?
We should revisit reimbursement or revisit the dollar value.
Well, it'd be reimbursement of what so the 55, I should say, whereas the rest of the
cell phone
county,
coverage.
yeah.
See, I could never ever find that. You guys talked about that being a federal.
I don't know if that's
I've
federal, I think
I've
that's,
never been a part of the discussion on cell
Well,
phone.
are we talking about the cell phone reimbursement?
Cell
Mhm.
phone
Mhm.
reimbursement.
Yeah, no, it's not a federal deal.
No, it's
We never said that. It's just that
the rest
there
of
is
the
a
county.
county policy in effect. And I know because Jake told me about it.
Mhm.
Because I went through my first 4 years and I never submitted a cell phone anything. So,
Yeah, I don't mean to butt in. I don't know if there's an actual policy approved by the board. Years ago, we went to the IRS notes and took the recommended reimbursement rate from the IRS.
so that's where it
And
comes
that's
from.
what I looked for, and I
Okay.
could not find a federal reimbursement.
So,
That's where that came from.
so at some point, Keisha, we should refresh this.
Yeah.
And just have a discussion on reimbursements.
Yep.
Because you brought this up a couple of times. We don't seem to have a real clear answer.
I just want to be consistent. I want it to be, have
And
consistency.
that's why we recently changed to 45, because we were, I think when I started, it was 55 and 70. So 70 for smartphones,
Smartphones,
55
Oh,
for
because at the time, yeah,
Yeah.
they were
And
more
then I
expensive.
talked to Andrew, and the $55 was coming up, but after talking with Andrew, it looked like $45 was a smartphone plan through, for government agencies through Verizon or US Cellular. So we went with $45 reimbursement because we as the county aren't having to pay for a phone,
Right.
Right.
so we are reimbursing for $45.
Okay.
let's,
And then there's the whole other discussion, probably with Ed, of reimbursement versus
yeah, you got discoverability and
classes.
et cetera on that.
Right, yeah.
Pros and cons to both. We weighed that 4 years ago and we decided to stick with personal phones being reimbursed.
All right, we'll make that an agenda item though, Keisha.
That'd be good.
And talk about that in more detail. Okay? Very good. Any other discussion on this? All right, seeing none, I would entertain a motion on 2020-53. I think that's what it says. 53?
Make motion, we approve resolution 2020-53.
Second?
Johnner,
Aye.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey,
Aye. Very good, thanks, Tyler. Thank you very much. We've got a quick claim deed, proposed approval for a road vacation. Keystone Street, Otley, Iowa. Is that, Tyler, is that you?
Yeah, so Brian submitted this. This was a very old vacation, but Brian and Ann had done the research and determined that yes, it was indeed vacated. That currently today there is no resemblance of a street there. And we had all the documentation of it being vacated. One of the final steps, and one of which is a part of our process for vacation now in our workflow, is to do the claim deed to finalize. So this was overlooked at some point, gosh, was it the 50s? So, but now someone is asking for that. So this is just a formality to do the final step in the workflow of vacations.
Okay. Good. Steve, Keisha, any discussion?
Nope.
All right. Would entertain a motion on this deed.
So moved
Second?
To approve.
to approve.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey.
Aye.
Johnner,
Very good, thank you. We have, next item, we've got two change orders here, 002, 003. Chris is on vacation at a wedding in Kansas. So I know he handed out these change orders to the board last week. So I would open that up for any discussion regarding these change orders. I think they're all necessary. I don't see any issues. They're within our what we planned on for our $200,000 contingency. So any discussion?
Yeah, just for clarity, I believe that this is that north stairwell.
That is correct, Steve. Yes.
That has been an issue for a while.
Yeah, this will correct that issue.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any
Okay.
discussions.
Okay, very good. No discussion. I would entertain a motion on change order 002 and 003.
I move we approve the presented change orders.
I'll second.
Ramey,
Aye.
Johnner.
Aye.
McCombs,
Aye.
Very good. Thank you. We've got Marion County FY20 quarterly and year-end fiscal reports. Who is Jenny or Jason? Who's talking about these?
Jenny's gonna talk about it.
Got it. Okay, Jenny, it's all yours. Jenny? Is she on?
Try to unmute in there.
Hey, Mark, we're
Yeah.
having some technical difficulty. This is Jason. So Jenny's not able to speak right now. She can see you, but she can't hear you.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're working through some technical difficulties. Is there anything I can answer, I guess, in the meantime?
Well, I guess, board, any questions for Jason regarding FY20 quarterly fiscal reports, year-end fiscal reports? Anything from a budget? Jason, how did we do overall on the budget? I mean, I'm looking at the final numbers here, and you seem to be.
We did really well. You guys tasked me early on there, obviously, with trying to save as much as we could.
Yep.
So we definitely, I mean, I know you guys don't like me using the term giving back, but we definitely gave back quite a bit this year. But we are going to have some upcoming expenses here, obviously, in the new fiscal year. So, but overall, great job by my staff on the budget side of it. And we definitely were able to give the needs, but we were a little restrictive on the wants.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, as usual, Jason, I think you guys do a very good job managing what's allotted, especially within the constraints we put out as a board. So, compliments for FY20.
Thank you. If there are questions, I can follow up with Jenny there if you guys do have different things and get you any information you need.
Yeah, I nothing from a retro perspective. I guess I'm already thinking about the next budget cycle. So, board, do you have any questions for Jason?
No, not really. Jason, the total, it says due to the county treasurer, that amount, that's what's going to be given back then? Is that what I'm just trying to make sure I understand your report.
So this quarterly report is required by code.
Yep.
Jake can kind of explain it, or Michaela even more, but this is just our annual accounting side of it that we do quarterly for it.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny keeps track of that on it. The overall budget side of it's a different matter.
Right.
But this, I don't have those numbers in front of me right now. I was actually going to try to take the day off and have Jenny explain it, but so with the technical difficulty, I don't have the paperwork in front of me right now.
Okay.
But my understanding is this is required by code that we do a quarterly accounting.
Yes, it is. It's cash in, cash out.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Correct, Jake?
Yeah,
Mark,
I don't want
Mark,
to
this is Ed.
Yeah, Ed.
I would just point out, Jason and I are working kind of hand in glove right now, so you folks know. There was a substantial change in the way in which the sheriff's office is allowed to collect room and board on the last minute legislative issue. And so just be mindful that moving forward, whereas automatically through our collections program, we used to collect for Jason on room and boards and other non-reimbursed medical fees. That isn't the way it is any longer. And now there's going to be a change in the way in which the county collects fees and fines. And we're working through all of these issues. But the thing that just stands out to me when you guys look at allocation of resources moving forward is it used to be that we used room and board to pay for courthouse security and courthouse improvements.
Right.
And that fund is no longer going to exist as of July 15th of this year, being funded through that mechanism. So I think all of the county attorneys and their sheriffs are getting together to work through how we deal with these issues. But as of right now, it's kind of a gray area, other than to say the days of just us being able to collect it through our traditional collection means don't exist anymore. So we'll continue to work through the process, but there's now going to be a percentage, whatever fines are collected by the clerk of court. Now 9% of all fines that are collected by the clerk of court directly go to the county. And in return, that 9%, 60% of the 9% goes directly to the sheriff. We just have to figure out, and one of the things that Jason's doing a great job trying to work through is what percentage of the 60% that he gets of the 9% needs to be allocated back to courthouse security.
Right.
So it's a very, at least from my perspective, one of those things that becomes very interesting when the legislature tries to do something in the last 15 minutes of a legislative session.
No, it's a fair point, Ed, and in reading through this a little bit, I guess this is the question, Jason and Ed, you guys can kind of work through. Does it make sense to make courthouse security a separate line item? So,
I think we need to look at whether or not through the code can we do it.
Well,
That's my only concern.
yeah, I think that's question one, Ed. Obviously, there's a legal side, but I'm thinking just from the financial tracking, considering 60% of 9% of 25 divided by 3 and the square root of 20. So I'm just trying to lessen the burden on Jason. He's got a big department to manage. So if we can do it legally, we should at least have the discussion. That's my point.
Yeah, and we can look at that, and we're already kind of doing that. Jake does a good job of helping us with that, so it's already kind of broken out into a separate section. But we can figure out the best way to
Okay, yeah,
go forward.
yeah, if Jake's got it, then that helps you guys out a lot. So, all right,
Sorry about the technical difficulty there.
no worries. Thank you, Jason, appreciate it. Any other questions for the sheriff on the report?
So it's the same money being collected, it's just how it's being dispersed after it's collected?
It's allocation,
The allocation of the money?
allocation.
Yeah, okay.
And I think we'll see other changes going into the next fiscal year on fees, collections, how they're distributed. They change, I mean, yeah, I think we're gonna see other changes, so.
There was substantial changes
Yeah.
as part of the governor's, felon voting rights. Every dollar amount that we collect in fines changed. So literally for the last 2 weeks, we have about 45 forms that are used in the court system. We've had to go through and change everything. It used to be an aggravated misdemeanor was $6,250 to $6,250 as the maximum fine. Now that's changed to it's been increased to $805 to $8,150, but they reduced the surcharge from 35% to 15%. Nothing has changed the same. And now the numbers, quite honestly, at some points don't even make sense.
Yeah.
But the whole point was to have more honesty, and when a person got convicted of an offense that, you get a $10 ticket, you pay a 30%, this surcharge, that surcharge, a law enforcement initiative. They did away with all the surcharges and they increased the fines. So there's going to be a lot of people that money used to be earmarked for certain things and now it's not.
So the news headline there, Ed, is that you made the comment that something coming from the legislature doesn't make sense. So, Ed, I'm shocked, right now, I don't know what to do. I think we have to adjourn. I gotta think about this, but. All right, any other discussion? If not, is there a motion on the sheriff's FY20 report?
So we're just accepting?
Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the sheriff's FY20 quarterly and year-end fiscal report.
All right, a second.
Johnner?
Aye.
McCombs?
Aye.
Ramey?
Aye. Very good. We've got resolution 2020-54, which is the ICAP renewal, FY21, and designation of proxy. Who's taking the lead on this? Lisa or no?
I can.
Jake?
Yeah, this is again an annual thing
Bueller?
kind of like with Tyler. The annual renewal with ICAP insurance for property and liability is July 15. We've gone through that renewal process. ICAP always requires what they call the proxy. It's just they have a central number to call if they have a question or when a claim gets assigned, and then it usually comes to my office, and then we distribute it to whatever department head is dealing with the claim, and the department head generally runs with it from them. So it's kind of like a central receiving point, and then distributed throughout. I know with Tyler and his crew, with their claims, it goes to them. Troy Fisher generally takes care of vehicles. Lawsuits, work through Ed, things like that. But it's kind of just like the central receiving point, and then it gets distributed. That's what the effect of this proxy is. It is not a decision-making process in any manner. It's a communication flow.
Right. Jake, we also talk about limits.
That would be the next item. Yes,
Right.
they always offer, if you want to raise your excess liability limits, and there's, you have a $2 million level, and then the excess is 10 million, and then every year you can increase that if you want. Historically, you've chosen not to.
Right.
That would be the next agenda item would be just clarity if you want to do that or not. I felt like it needed to be your decision.
Right. So as far as the proxy designation goes, I would say we make no change on that.
Again, it doesn't have to be my office. We do the fixed assets, and we generally track that stuff through the assets and the depreciation and things. So it seems to work. I mean, it doesn't have to be my office, but
I think it's
Makes
logical.
sense.
I think it's a logical fit. Steve, Keisha, any issues on that one?
I do not.
Okay, so let's do a motion on the proxy designation 2020-54. Is there a motion?
So, yeah, make motion to approve resolution 2020-54.
Assigning the auditor's office as the proxy for ICAP.
Yes, so moved.
Second.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey.
Aye.
Johnner.
And then our renewal limit, right now we're at 10 million. Do we want to increase that limit? And you've got the associated costs in the packet item. I think the only thing, when we talked about it from a liability perspective, you can increase your limits, therefore your pockets get deeper. We have to be careful about that. I know that's what our counselor would say. We do have an additional fairly large property. And we have not yet been able to dispose of, and probably won't for the foreseeable future as we work on it. So is 10 million sufficient? Do we feel good about that? I don't know if we have any of our insurance folks on.
Tanya should be on, and I think Scott.
Yep.
There's Tanya.
Tanya, what does, I'm sure you've had conversations with ICAP regarding the VA and our acquisition of it. Do they have any recommendations?
What they typically say is when you're looking at the excess liability, you want to look at all of your assets, what the cost of those are, the cash on hand, and then just assess whether the 10 million excess liability is sufficient or do you need to increase that. The other thing with ICAP to think about is you guys don't have an aggregate limit, which means that there's not a policy limit for the liability. You've got a 2 million base limit for your liability. You can have as many claims as you want to. You've got up to $2 million. And then above that, you've got your 10 million excess.
It's acting as an
So there's not like
umbrella.
there's not like a policy limit for how much that policy will pay out in essence.
Okay, but it's similar to having a 10 million umbrella, right?
It is. The difference is typically your standard umbrella and standard general liability policies have what we call an aggregate, which means that's the most they will pay out in any 1 year. And I'll just give you an example. A standard general liability policy is typically $1 million per claim with a $2 million aggregate.
Right.
And that aggregate just means that if you have 2 losses or 5 losses, the most that company is going to pay out for a liability loss is $2 million in a year. With ICAP, you don't have that aggregate limit.
Right. Right.
So if you have 1 claim or 10 claims, you have that $2 million for the general liability, and then you've got that $10 million excess above it.
You all understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Tanya. Excellent explanation.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Very good. So just to dovetail off of what she just said, which I think is exactly right, when you look at it on an asset-based perspective, tough to do it if you looked at just the attendant risk. I don't know how you would do that analysis right now. But if you looked at it on an asset-based perspective, I would say we don't make any changes. Because in essence, we've valued those buildings at nothing.
Yeah, so where's the asset? That's the VA.
Yeah. I mean,
They're not in, yeah.
Yeah, it's the property itself, it's what we have in terms of having the property, but there's no reason to increase that.
No, to burn it down, okay.
Yeah. Well, don't say that out loud.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Yeah, but, yeah, I'm totally with you. I mean, there's no sense in increasing the limits on an asset that's a negative asset.
right, right, that's exactly right. So I don't see any reason to increase that. Keisha?
No, I don't. At this point, I don't see.
Okay, good. So with that, is there a motion, Jake, we just need to maintain our limit?
Yeah.
A motion to maintain our current excess liability limit?
Make the motion that we maintain our excess liability limit.
Second.
Ramey.
Aye.
Johnner.
Aye.
McCombs.
Aye.
Very good. Zoning Department Consulting Services is next. Missy, are you on? There you are. Okay.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, so what I'm asking to do from the zoning department is just to expand the resources that we use our planning dollars for to other areas of experts to keep up with the constant changing of the world of zoning. We need to review some of the ordinance, possibly make some changes. So yeah, just looking to expand. It's on an as-needed basis, so we're not locked into any dollar amount. But we do have some stuff we need to review and move forward with.
So a couple points, Missy, and just correct me if I'm wrong on these, but Missy and I have had a couple of conversations, and I don't know if she has individually talked to any of the other board members on this. On when we're revising our zoning ordinances, looking at things, getting some additional assistance for her to be able to get those things done. It's by no means saying that Ed and the folks in the law department haven't been an assistance in that or haven't helped in that. It's just that the volume of work seems to be increasing. And given the volume of work that Ed and the folks in the law department already have, we thought it might be worthwhile to explore adding a consultant to offload some of that work. The good thing is, between what we've heard from Bridget and what we've heard from Missy and Carla, and just from an economics perspective, we're getting permits, we're getting building permits, we have activity in this area. So I think correspondingly zoning becomes very important. We need to stay updated on those things. We need to be able to review things efficiently. Missy needs to provide guidance to her board as well. She has a separate board that she works with, the zoning board. So that's why this recommendation is coming, and I think it's totally reasonable to do, to add some consulting services for Missy. So, Missy, did I get it all?
Yep. I think you covered it all. We definitely, at this point, after been here 20 years, there's definitely zoning things that come forward that are totally outside the box, as we have, right, economic expansion and potential, as our cities are, industrial and commercial have nowhere to expand. We've got more people looking for that type of uses outside in the county. A few other things that have become potential issues in our ordinance that we really need to address. And so, yep, you've hit it. We're just looking to try and do things efficiently and effectively and task any, so reaching out to use those dollars outside will be most helpful.
Okay. Very good. Any discussion or questions for Missy on this proposal?
No, I think it's probably a pretty good idea that we clean that up a little bit and get a little more organized as far as what direction we're headed in our zoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, and Missy had spoke to me about it, and I didn't have a problem. Missy, the only question I have is, do you currently have a line item for any of this, like expense-wise, that you?
Well, it would be, yes, we do. It's the line item, so it's called planning and development. It's the same line item that we use for Snyder and Associates.
Okay.
So, and that's something, if we have any large, reviews, I'll definitely bring back to the board before I move forward with those. But this is just, I have a list of potential ordinance changes we need to make, and we need to look from, a couple of them are from an aspect of legally, which way do we advise or take forward to the zoning commission for, review that then obviously would come forward to you guys.
Good. I mean, this has a real economic development impact. When I've talked with Carla about our need, especially in unincorporated areas, to be able to deal with land and land use and do it efficiently, to attract employers, attract housing, et cetera. So I think this is a good thing. It's going to definitely help out. So with that, if there is no more discussion, I would entertain a motion on this proposal.
And I make the motion to approve zoning department consulting services.
Second?
Johnner,
Aye.
Holmes,
Aye.
Ramey,
Aye. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Missy.
Thank you.
Good discussion. Last item, any updates from the board? Mr. McCombs?
Keisha,
No.
Andrew, Myers.
Yeah, I wanted to let you know, it was just a couple different updates. I know that in the past, we're planning and zoning and the 2080. I spoke with Matt Lepke, and regarding that, and they are still on that. I think there's gotta be maybe a couple minor things, but then they'll be contacting us, so they're definitely on it, and I know that,
This Pella 20.
yeah, DePella, Marion County, and I know that Tyler and the group, put a lot of work into it, Missy, and so, yeah. I just wanna make sure that you guys know that we're following up on it.
Thank you. I just want to update everybody, just a couple of things pertaining to the VA. We'll send out a formal date, but I believe in the week of the 20th of July, we're getting ready to establish a meeting. So it'll be our next joint meeting between Marion County and Knoxville City Council, to get an update. I was just looking on my calendar to see when exactly that was, because I'm forgetting.
I think it's the 22nd.
Is it 20,
Next
there we
week,
go,
yep.
22nd at 5 o'clock. So we'll be having that second, like we did the first time, it'll be a joint meeting. We're really looking forward to being able to have that face-to-face or face to Zoom with the Knoxville City Council. We'll get an update on the progress of the master planning from Confluence, update on archaeology, update on the RFP. Next week, we have I believe we have the open house, or maybe it's this week. No, actually it's this week, tomorrow. I will be at the City Hall, that's at Knoxville City Hall, for our open house on the RFP. And that's part of our contract that we had with GSA and SHPA. We have to do this. So we'll be doing the open house. To date, we have one interested party on buildings 27 and 28. They come down, they look at the buildings, we'll open up the property. They can't go inside because of the state of the buildings, but they'll get to walk around and look, and they'll make a pitch and a proposal, or they'll decide if they want to go forward with what they put there, and then we'll evaluate it from that standpoint. So this is that next step in that RFP process, and I know that we'll get an update on archaeology as well. We had to do a tier 1 archaeological study, and that is in process. I know a lot of folks have been asking about the fences and, activity at the VA, but rest assured activity is taking place. We have, between the archaeological study, the RFP, and the master planning project, those are significant initiatives that are underway that we have to do before we go and start tearing anything down. The tree cutting is not a major project, although the maintenance department may disagree with that, but that's just something to get the dead trees out. These other projects are far more mission critical to the future of that property. And we'll have a full discussion on that at that joint meeting. I do know that we will be having a law enforcement training out there. I can't remember the date. Jeff, do you know when that date is?
Today, I saw it on Facebook.
Oh, is it today? I can't remember when I told it. So they're going to utilize the property for some training purposes. I think it's the Highway Patrol TAC Team. I don't know the official name, Jeff, of that group.
Yep, State Patrol Tactical Team.
So, but they contacted Chris, and I told Chris, I said, that sounds great. An opportunity to use the buildings. He told them where they could go and where they should not go for their own safety. So they'll be doing that today, and it's great to be able to help out our law enforcement partners in that regard. So with that, I don't have anything else. Any, Keisha, Steve?
Nope.
Okay, very good. If nothing else, I would entertain a motion. Oh,
I
Tyler.
have a question.
Yes.
Any update on our official publication? We've got a number of hearings coming up. We're still going with the Des Moines Register.
It's still Des Moines Register, and we even did a resolution on that, didn't we, Jake? It's a temporary resolution until something in Marion County.
Okay, I just didn't
meets
know if
the
there was
criteria.
anything in the foreseeable future that maybe we should wait a week or two to.
Okay, very good. Very good. And I know, Ed, your department was doing some research on other publications. Is that still going?
I think it's gone.
Oh, is that gone? Okay.
It's been working, I mean,
Is it
from the
working okay?
standpoint of the process of submitting to the Des Moines
It's
Register and
there.
getting the information, it's been
No, that's
working.
a different one.
So, and I don't know of anything new from the Oskaloosa Herald yet that anything would change from Ed's perspective. So we're moving forward as the Des Moines Register until notified of differently.
Okay, very good. All right, good question. Anything else?
I don't have anything.
All right. With that, would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion, we adjourn.
Second?
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey,
Aye.
Donner?
Very good. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.